a lot of our audience won't be aware of the fact that, age 9, you have to sneak into a boys' gym just to kind of get in the mix. I know you must be tired of telling that story by now, but just for those who don't know what your walk's been like and how that shaped you, let's go from that as a springboard
Yeah.
and just talk about the journey thus far and the superstar that I see in front of me right now.
Thank you. No, obviously back in the day, women's boxing was not the same thing. I remember when I first started looking into boxing and getting into it. For the women, I googled on YouTube like who was about, and obviously Layla Ali was about. I didn't really relate to Layla Ali. She was so much older than me. I was 9 years old at the time, and she was like in her 30s. Such a big difference. So at the time in the UK, there were so many boxing gyms for guys, and there was a lot of, like Repton, West Ham, Fisher, all these clubs. There were West Ham boys boxing club, Repton boys boxing clubs, and I guess it's because there was no real direction for the women. There was no Olympics. I don't even think there was a national championships. There was no Europeans or world, so they just was not focused on women. They just didn't see any point in it. And then a lot of those guys also had the old school mindset of like women can't fight, they shouldn't be fighting, all that stuff. So when I started, Daniel was fighting at Repton, and my dad was like, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this properly. You're gonna go to a proper boxing gym and not like a get fit gym or something like that. You're gonna do it properly. So he said you're gonna go to Repton as well. And on Sundays, Repton had a nursery for everyone that was not carded yet or too young. And I was obviously 9, so I was on that list. And so I kept asking my dad, when are we gonna go? When are we gonna go? I'm gonna go. And he said, I'll take you on Sunday. Sunday kept coming, kept going, and it wasn't happening. So I kept pestering. Every time Saturday would come around, every time Sunday would come around, I would ask him, are we gonna go? And I guess my dad was just really surprised how serious I was about it. He put all my brothers into boxing, but with me, it was me demanding to be going to the gym. And finally, the Sunday came, and he was like, I'm not gonna take you. And I just had a proper, meltdown, cried and everything. And I think he was really just surprised that I was serious. I was not messing around. This wasn't just a gimmick thing. I wanted it. Even at 9, I knew this is what I wanted to do. And so he was like, we're going to take you. I went to the gym, and on the way there, that's when he told me, well, this is the only boys' gym. You're going to have to say you're a boy too. And he was saying it in a jokey manner, so I wasn't sure if he was being serious. And all along the way there, he was talking about this is where Orly Harrison was from, and yada, yada, yada. So I wasn't really sure if he was being serious. But when I turned up to the gym, I don't know if you've ever been to Repton, but it's a serious gym. It's a serious energy. And I was looking around. There was no moms there. There was like only one mom there. There was like loads of kids. And another thing I only noticed was there was only boys. There was only boys there. So I was like, he may have been telling the truth. So I put my bags down, and obviously Daniel was from that gym, so they know him. They come up to him and they're like, "Oh yeah, who's this? Who's this young boy?" And I'm like, "Oh my god!" Then he's looking at me and he's like, um, "I remember the coach, and he's this big guy, and he leans down and he's like, 'What's your name?' And I said Caroline, but I said it so quietly he couldn't hear what I said. He says, 'What did you say?' And he looks down a bit closer, and I look around. I'm like, 'There's only guys here. Think about it.' And I'm like, 'Colin.' And that's how it started. I just said my name was Colin, and I was at that gym for a while, and then they got me a fight. And you have to, when you get a fight, you have to get your medical done, and obviously a doctor will come down. So we had to veto out of there as quickly as we could, and then we went to another gym in Del Youth, and we just told him straight up. The head coach at the time was Gary McGuinness, and we just said, there's a girl. We have a daughter. My dad has a daughter, and she's a really phenomenal fighter. Would you give her a chance? And he gave me a chance. He saw me, and he was like, yeah, bring her down. So yeah, that's how it started.
And the rest is history, as they say.
The rest is history.